Welcome, everybody, to the Thinning Out Loud podcast with your hosts, Dan, that's me, and Liam.
Hi.
Here we talk about games, movies, and stuff that takes our fancy in the world. This episode is... No, I fucking don't read that bit. That's fucking retarded. I just read the whole thing, and it had the E3 bit at the end. Alright, we'll take it from the top. Hang on, I'm just going to delete that. I did a Ron Burgundy.
Just run with it. Just put it all this in the podcast. Don't edit it. Just put this all in. It's fine. Just leave it in there.
Alright, this week we decided to grab a couple of points from the week that we have kind of taken interest with, or the couple of weeks, I guess, that we do this. We're going to do this every fortnight, and get it all out and done on Mondays of the fortnight. So today is the first, and the Monday will be the third. Since you were the most prepared, Liam, and had the most topics prepared, did you want to start off with one?
Sure. Shall we start with Spider-Man and how the fact it's got really good reviews? Spider-Man.
Yeah, so it's been really, really, really good reviews from the critics that have seen it already. It doesn't come out till later on in the week for us plebs, but yeah, I'm really excited. Have you watched all of the trailers?
I think so. I think I stopped watching at a certain point.
Yeah. When we were watching like the trailers, they spoil a lot. It feels like they spoil a lot. I'm not sure how much else is in the movie, but yeah.
Yeah, it feels like in the trailers that there's a lot of like Tony Stark and Vulture, but from one of the reviews I saw, it says that they're less than what you would expect it to be.
Oh right.
So,
okay, so
hopefully it's like I'll turn into Iron Man Part 5 or something like Civil War.
I would not like that. But apparently there's a lot more kind of like high school drama than you'd be thinking. Like it's a bit more about that kind of thing, which is pretty cool. I'm okay with that. I mean, it's the third time we've seen Peter Parker being in school. But I know. I mean, like I would like to see an older Peter Parker come out web slinging, but I don't think that would be as funny. It would be a bit more sad. You know what I mean? Like how he's just kind of like flipping around, using his quips and all that kind of stuff. Having like a 30-year-old Peter Parker doing that, it would be kind of weird. Because
well, you'll get that in the Spider-Man game coming out.
Yeah,
for sure. Next year, whenever it's coming out.
I think a game's different because like you can kind of give your own kind of. It's even though you're playing it as Peter Parker, it still feels like you're kind of you because of the immersiveness of a game. Whereas when a movie comes along and you're just watching this dude joking around quite childishly with villains and things like that, it can be kind of a little bit weird.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm definitely going to go see it. Probably the night it comes out, or maybe the day after. And yeah, it's going to be really, really good. Maybe we'll do a review for it next fortnight.
Sure. It's next Thursday, I believe, for us New Zealand people.
It's the 6th. Yes, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks good.
Looks good. I think the verdict's out on that one. I mean, it's looked good since the first trailer came out. I mean, it's kind of been a no-brainer since then. But yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Then my first topic is the token ring. Have you heard about this?
No.
Okay. Yeah, Google it while I'm talking about this. So the token ring is a ring that you can wear, obviously, and it is kind of like a one ring to rule them all for the modern day man. So it will pair up with your keys, your home like kind of security system. It can pair up with your payment cards and all that kind of thing. So basically you have, and it can also pair up with all your Google kind of passwords and everything like that. So instead of having passwords, you just knock on anything and it will use the password that is trying to use. So if you're trying to get into your email account, you knock on the PC and it apparently just opens the email for you. Are you comfortable with this one ring having so much control, or like knowing so much about your life?
It depends on how secure it would be, because in this modern digital age, the chances of someone having a near-field communication device to actually read your passwords and your whatnot, yeah, it really depends on what sort of encryption it has. Do I care if it controls everything? Not particularly. I certainly limit most things, but the problem is most people have a phone now. Most phones will remember what you've put your passwords in. It'll ask, well, this pops up, do you want to remember this password? And you go, yes, for the most part. So
Yeah,
I
so
don't know.
it's kind of just a smaller version of one of those kind of phone near field communication things. I remember when Paywave kind of first came out, everyone was freaking out about the whole walking past somebody and your pockets touching and they steal $80 out of your wallet sort of thing. I think
But we've never heard of those, so we haven't heard of anything like that actually happening. So
No.
RFID chips, from the seeming of it, seem pretty secure.
Exactly.
So
We don't hear about that like kind of thing in the daily news or anything like that.
I don't think I've ever heard of it ever. Actually,
No. I heard rumors of it happening, but I never heard from the news being like, oh, 1,000 people have had thing in downtown Auckland or anything like that. So yeah, I think it's fine. I think I would probably get one if it said it could do all those things, and it could do all those things, then I probably would get one just to kind of make it a bit, means I don't have to get my wallet out of my pocket all the time to pay for things, or my phone.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I thought that
But
was an
I
interesting little
don't
thing.
know if that would be like a fully usable thing in New Zealand, because we tend to be technology behind like America, where all this stuff would probably be more use.
We
we are catching up, but
yeah,
you know,
like
don't
we
know if
had
it'll be a thing.
FPOS before America did. Like that was a New Zealand thing. Like it was, I guess just because America's such a big place, like to roll out a new infrastructure like that would be insane. Whereas they kind of tested it in New Zealand and it worked out really well, so they decided to use it everywhere. Because they had the zip zaps for I think some like malls and stuff like that still use zip zaps over in America. It's like they still aren't completely FPOSed out. It's crazy.
I don't think they even have it like FPOS as we use it. I think they generally only use credit cards.
Yeah, and they still use checks a lot as well, eh?
I don't know. All I remember is seeing people with like basic credit cards instead of like FPOS cards like we have.
Yeah.
I mean, we should do completely separate things.
Exactly, yeah. All right, what's up next?
What's our next? Wonder Woman, the
Wonder
subject you
Woman.
don't want to talk about.
Oh man, like I get it. I know it's a good movie. I understand it. I just don't want to waste my money going to go see it. You know, it's
Okay.
not a.
No movie you want to see.
About this.
Well, can I just point out
Yeah.
that I know it's a low bar, but it's the top earning DC movie in the world. It's earned about 600 million worldwide, which is about apparently 300 more than both Suicide Squad, better than Batman vs Superman, Man of Steel. So,
Okay.
I just want to point out it's earned a lot of money. People like it. Reviews are good for it. It's a good movie. I've seen it. I like it. So
it's for me. It's just I've never really been into Wonder Woman, and then I've also heard that it's quite a lot like the first Avenger in a way, and that's kind of like I'm okay with that having its place, and I don't need another movie to come and kind of start treading on that. Especially
I'm going to make a prediction.
Yeah.
One day you will see it, and then you go, "Oh my god, it's awesome!" to me, like you did with Logan. I think it was one of those movies.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh my god, it's awesome!" And they'll be like, "Yeah, I told you."
Logan's a different story though. Logan is like nothing I've ever seen in a comic book movie before. It's just
Because it's R18
well,
or
no,
R16.
we saw Deadpool was R16.
Yeah, but I'd
was-
argue Wolverine's probably a bit more bloodier than Deadpool.
Oh, for sure. There's definitely more violence in Logan than there was in Deadpool.
And it's a completely different sort of
Yeah, it's a more
idea
visceral.
of a movie.
Yeah.
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 And it's more Logan coming to grips with the fact that he is
Dying.
getting old.
Yeah.
Everything's not actually working properly anymore.
Exactly.
Claws don't work properly. Him coming to grips with terms with his pending mortality.
Yeah, so they kind of point out in that it's because of his adamantium that's basically poisoning his body and stopping it from being able to heal. Do you think if he had never gotten that adamantium that he would have like lived a hell of a lot longer?
I think he would have. I think if it was never given to him or forced on him in the first place, I think he would have survived for much, much, much longer. But would that still be the same Wolverine that we know now?
Yeah.
Would it be someone completely different?
Oh, I'd like to see a universe about that. Maybe another story if he had like never actually been taken into the Weapon X.
Probably, yeah.
It'd be really funny to see him like sitting at a bar and they're about to like take him down and take him into the Weapon X program, and they like take the guy next to him. That'd be really funny.
I don't think we'll ever see a movie of that
No.
because people probably don't want to see it. But
Maybe
a comic
book, yeah.
book could be a thing. If Marvel, anybody from Marvel is listening, feel free to take that and run with it. We're okay
Absolutely.
with that. I
Yeah.
think it'd be cool.
Yeah, that
So,
would be cool. All right, so my next one is voice acting in games. For me, voice acting in games is pretty important. Since back in the days when they started adding in proper voice acting into games, I've really enjoyed the broad variety of it. Like Witcher.
hmm
I
hmm
don't know if you know this, but Witcher has like 450,000 words in its script. And there was like 900,
Yikes.
950 people doing. Apparently, there was like 950 voice acting jobs being done or something like that. It's just some quick stuff I read off the internet. Fallout 4 had 1,100 lines of actual dialogue in their game.
Wow.
Yeah, games that are coming out now, and I understand like some smaller games not having voice acting, and I'm not talking about like main character voice acting. I'm just mean like voice acting in general kind of thing. Like you walk up to a random person in the street who's got a quest for you, and they go and some words come up along the bottom, and you have to read some text. And I get the subtitling kind of line of it, which is fine. I just don't understand why every game these days doesn't have at least those people kind of doing their talking, doing their kind of words. Does that kind of break immersion for you when you talk it to someone in a game that doesn't actually have a voice?
No, I
No?
can't think of a game, any like say console games that have had no voice characters recently that I've played.
That you've played, probably not, but
Oh,
the big one
no.
at the moment is Nintendo. A lot of Nintendo games don't have voice acting in them. Like Zelda doesn't have anybody talking other than some cutscenes in it. Mario still doesn't have actually much voice to it, especially from again other characters. And Nintendo have come out saying these characters have never really had voices. We've built these characters up to not have voices as per se. Giving them a voice now would kind of be weird about that, and I understand
Mm,
that. Like
mm,
Jack 1 and Jack 2
mm,
didn't really change for me because he had a voice. Like Jack 1 was
mm,
an amazing story, and Jack never really spoke a word in that. um, I would still absolutely love to play a game like a Zelda game that didn't have a talking Link, but
mhm.
the quest givers actually had full on voice acting to them. The
So,
argument of, yeah,
so you want Link to be the stereotypical silent protagonist,
he doesn't have
sort
to
of,
be, but if they want to keep him that way, then that's not a a problem in my eyes.
or
Yeah.
would you prefer him to be sort of like the Master Chief stoic silent type, where he still speaks once in a while, but just never says too much?
Yeah, I don't mind if they don't make him talk at all. It's not
Fair enough.
that's not like the main character talking is not my big issue with this. It's just that there should be the and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have to read anything in games, like because that's retarded. You should always have
Mm,
something to read in a video game because that's one of the things that helped me kind of learn words and reading and all that kind of thing was video games. But it's getting to a point now where um, it's especially for a big company like Nintendo or something like that to not have that kind of thing in their game. It just seems odd to me. It just seems odd. I don't know.
yeah,
It's just
Nintendo don't choose to push anything.
yeah,
Well, at the end of the day, most of the Nintendo games have had very little voice acting, so it's worked so far. Why not keep going?
yeah. I
I
guess so.
suppose.
And that's Nintendo's whole ethos, isn't it? That if something ain't broke, don't fix it, even though
Don't
it's
fix it.
old
Yep.
technology and no one uses it anymore. But yeah.
Hmm. Well, that brings us to something else, and that's happened to
Okay.
the voice acting community. The voice actors, the whole SAG-AFTRA strike thing, where
Okay.
voice actors are generally just saying, "No, we're not going to do voices for games because various reasons they're not being paid enough,
Not
they're
being
not
wow.
being told enough information." I heard
Okay.
a story from someone off Eurogamer. There was a voice actor who did the voice of Kellogg, but he didn't actually know before that. He didn't actually know he was the voice of Kellogg till the game actually came out.
Right. So he didn't know he was a
He had
main
no idea he was
character.
actually doing the character. Yeah, he had no idea he was the main villain for pretty much the entire
Right.
game till someone else in the cast told him. Which it's fair. If you're working on a game, I feel like the voice actors should have some sort of context. Like,
Yeah,
so you're working on Fallout. You're going to be this character in Fallout 4.
yeah,
Here's your script. Have at it. I think yeah, it's a fair thing because they're striking at the moment, trying
yeah.
to like get more
Get more,
pay
and that's
to
understandable.
find out more information. So it's like anybody. You want to be paid what you're worth,
What you
and
exactly?
a
Yeah.
lot of games are sort of recognized because of the voice actors and not
Hmm.
necessarily anything else. Because what you hear most in the game is the voice actors going.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
What sticks in your memory about certain
is
characters
the
is
performances from
exactly.
the actors or
Yeah.
actresses
Yeah.
doing their lines. I mean, the graphics are great. That's like people notice at first, but the voices always stick with you because
Yes.
they give the things on the screen, the figures, characters, and people, a voice, and you
Exactly.
sort of bond with those people because you can hear them talk.
Yeah. So
So
I
that's
didn't know that
yeah.
whole strike thing was even going on.
Yeah,
Um,
it's still going. Apparently, there's a strike on now. Deadline's looming soon. Um, yeah,
that's
so
interesting. I hope they get
yeah.
what they're requesting, or at least some kind of recognition.
I'm trying to find some of like demands or
Yeah, I
anything
mean,
like that.
like
And,
they should at least
I,
like if you're being a character, regardless of whether that character has more lines or not. If you're being a main character in a video game, you should get paid what that's owed. You know, if you're some dude in a town that's just kind of giving out quests and being ambient noise for when you walk into a town saying, "Hey, how's it going?" Then you probably shouldn't get paid as much, but you should
yeah,
definitely get paid what you're worth in terms of
yeah.
gaming.
I think they're just asking for a little bit more pay, a bit more information when they get a job,
Yeah.
um, bonus pay if the game sells over a certain amount.
Yep.
So things like that, just sort of things that everybody strikes sort of just wants.
Just be
Um,
part of the development team, really, which was what they are.
yeah,
I mean, they are an integral kind of part to our development teams that make games for us, so they should get recognised as such.
yeah. So,
All right, what's next?
Marvel's Inhumans. They had a trailer come out.
Hmm, I didn't watch that yet.
I watched it. It's good. It seems to be set up an interesting world, interesting powers.
Okay.
The
Do they have the
actors
lady that can control her hair?
they showed her, but they didn't really show any powers. I think that what they're trying to do with Inhumans is try and make it a more of a like political family
Oh,
sort of drama thing with mutant powers chucked
okay.
in there as well.
Who's the studio
So
that's doing it?
let me have a look.
Is it like a
I
Netflix
cannot
thing?
remember. I don't know. Well, let me have a look. Inhumans.
It looks interesting. I've been reading some news about it, and it definitely like it sounds interesting. It sounds kind of like the X-Men show I've always kind of wanted. You know, recently I haven't recently always thought, but recently I've thought that X-Men should go to more kind of TV shows and do some cool, more blockbustery stuff, rather
Um,
than
it's
doing
been
like
done
movies
by
anymore.
it's been done by the American ABC network.
Oh, okay, so it's just gonna be a
So
normal TV. That's interesting.
yeah.
I thought it would
Um,
be like an Amazon or a Netflix show.
ABC apparently. I'm sure it'll pop up on Netflix at some
Oh
stage.
yeah, absolutely. Stuff
Who we
going
got?
on.
We got Anson Mount as Black Bolt, who's the head of the family. We got Ewan Rowan, who we all know from Game of Thrones, who plays Ramsay Bolton.
Hang on. Oh, Ramsey Bolton. Oh, really? I love him.
Yeah.
I don't like
So,
Ramsey Bolton, but I like
but
his.
yeah, the character's a dick. The
Yes,
character's an evil little shit. He
but
needs to die, which he does.
I mean, from the
Spoiler alert.
Misfits is he just is such an awesome actor from Misfits
Yeah.
and yeah,
Who
the
else we got?
different characters he plays between Game of Thrones and Misfits is really cool.
Yeah. Who else we got? Surinder Swan, Emmy. I'm gonna pronounce that wrong. Just a few actors in
Yeah,
there.
nothing
Yeah, it
too
looks.
well known.
I think Anson Bolt's probably the biggest one there, and Ewan Rowan.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce his
Okay.
name? I think those are the two big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say go watch a trailer. For your own opinion.
All right. I'll
Looks
put the
pretty
trailer in the description. I hope it's good.
good.
I hope it's good. I hope it's more like I tried watching what was that one that came out recently?
Iron Fist.
No, I didn't bother watching that. But that got really bad reviews, and it's
Uh,
just I'm kind of off the whole Netflix kind of thing. Only got halfway through um, Nick Cage, even though it was really
Luke
good.
Cage.
Luke Cage, sorry.
Nick Cage is a different character.
Yeah. The bees. Lol. Um, uh, I kind of got into it, but I dropped off very quickly.
Yep.
The other one, what was the other one with the X-Men? Oh god, he's
Uh, it's not Defenders. Runaways.
no,
Oh,
he's Charles
Daredevil.
Xavier's son, and he's
Oh,
crazy. Um,
Split. Isn't it? No,
no,
that's something else.
no,
That's the
he
that's the
plays
other X-Men movie.
he plays Charles Xavier.
I know. I know the movie. TV series.
It's
I
gonna
can't
remind me
remember his name.
now. What
Yeah,
was it?
I know the one you're talking about.
You know what
Right,
I'm
yeah, I
talking
never
about.
watched that.
Yeah, and I watched the first episode or two, and it was good. It was interesting, but it just didn't pull me in. Like I don't know. I don't know if there's something about Game of Thrones that kind of just sucks you in, and you gotta watch it.
Hmm.
Whereas none of these TV programs have done that for me yet. Like Stranger Things and that kind of thing has always been really amazing and that kind of thing at
Do you
doing
think
that
that's
kind of stuff.
because you've sort of been reading comics and that sort of thing since you were youngish? So you've always sort of had a fair idea or a sort of preconception of how the comic should be, and that you feel like you've seen the stories before and you've seen them all laid out before, and you don't really feel like those things could probably be anything new or different.
Um, Maybe, but I kind of read like a lot of the I never read Inhumans as a comic book or anything like that. I
Hmm.
never really read uh, other kind of X-Men ones other than your kind of standard X-Men, like Ultimate X-Men and such. Um,
Yep.
but so I don't know if that really applies, but I get where you're coming from. I don't think not for me personally anyway. For probably a lot of people out there, it probably does.
Hmm.
But yeah, what about you? Does that kind of stop you from doing that kind of thing?
Because I've got read a handful of comics. So I'm not
Yeah.
like a massive reader of
Hmm.
comics that I won't read them all the time. I've read a few stories. So I'm not like some of the ones that are popping out like in Humans and Daredevil, Luke Cage, and sort of thing. I've never read any of those comics. So it's
Yeah.
fairly interesting to see them without a preconception of how they should turn out.
Yeah.
Just seeing a different sort of take on a character.
Mm.
So I fairly enjoy them. Although that being said, Iron Fist was a bit of a fucking miss.
Apparently, it was
Misfire.
just really dragged on.
It really dragged on, and the fact that I didn't like
The
the main
character.
character,
Yeah.
Rand, he was just like a petulant child who's expecting everybody in the world to bend over
Yeah.
backwards to do everything he says. And I
Yeah.
was like, and no, it's like you spent like 20 years of your life in the Himalayas, and you just want to pop back up, and everything's be like, "Hey, I'm back. Give me everything." It was like, no,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
not gonna work like that.
I
It's
hope Daredevil gives him a whooping because like this kid comes in and he's all like I deserve what I deserve, and then this blind guy who's trying to save his little patch of earth is like, no, you gotta earn your shit, fucking punch him in the face. Yeah, that'd be great.
yep, yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see that whole dynamic
Mm,
when we get to the Defenders whenever that comes out. Just see how they
yeah,
interact with each other and how everything sort of like all the personalities will just like smash together and clash, and they'll
yeah,
have different opinions on how to take down the bad guys and stuff like that. I think that'll be fantastic to
yeah,
see.
that'd be interesting.
Um, yeah,
All right, what's next?
Jumanji trailer.
Jumanji trailer. I just literally watched it because you made me watch it just then. And
Yeah,
I gotta say, I'm actually I one like the beginning annoyed me because I am such a die-hard kind of Jumanji fan. There
yep.
was no drums. I didn't like the fact that I couldn't hear any drums when they discovered the game, and the fact that yeah, it had to have it. It's just one of the things that makes you kind of spine chill when you're a child watching it for the first time. Um,
Mm.
and then the fact that it is a video game, I didn't. It's like it kind of
It's certainly an interesting take on the whole
yeah
Jumanji thing
yeah.
instead of being a board game or something
And
like
I kind of as it came to it, and these people embodying these other kind of these heroes and such, it was really interesting to see. it did definitely spark interest in me,
Mm.
but still wasn't it's still not hitting that Jumanji kind of. It doesn't feel like a Jumanji movie yet, and
Yeah.
hopefully they bring in that kind of um, that feel of dread when you come into the forest and that kind of thing, because
Yeah.
that's what that
Well,
was always about.
we won't know till it actually comes out, which will
Yeah.
probably be next year
Well, it
sometime.
says Christmas.
Um, Christmas, what, this year?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm really excited for. I will go and watch it because you just you gotta see these things for what they are, and I
Except Wonder Woman.
except for Wonder Woman, which
Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
it's a very good dig, except for Wonder Woman. Yep. Mm, very keen for that
Yeah.
one actually.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. It's a really interesting take on those characters, and like, I feel like they might turn into like, oh, we grew up as kids because we had to do all this trial and tribulation stuff. I'm like, yeah, so that coming.
I hope they just kind
I
of
just,
come out of the video game at the end, and they just kind of like look at each other and then go their separate ways again. It'd be really funny just to be like, let's never talk about this ever again.
no, they've
I'd
got
like
to do
that.
Jumanji too. So
Oh, yeah, well, I think the thing is with Jumanji, you can just do it with different people. Like, that's the thing about Jumanji; it just passes hands. So, and
yeah, that's the
you
point.
never have to use the same person ever again.
Yeah.
Um,
I wonder how they're gonna put in Robin Williams' character because he was
was
like to
he?
be the sort of temple character in the first one. It was
Yeah, of
Alan Parrish,
course.
the main guy.
Yeah, but again,
So
like because it's a
he's
board game that just gets passed between people, it doesn't have to have any connection to anybody else. I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, apparently there is a part in it that references Robin Williams'
Right. Well, that'd be
role as Alan Parrish.
yeah,
So maybe it's all one sort of connected sort of universe. Like
yeah.
the board game's the same as the video game, and it's just they're interconnected somewhere.
If they
I don't
do
know.
anything more than like his name's chiseled in a wall in the game or something in the Jumanji world, where of course Alan Parrish like lived for 20 something years,
26 years, I think it was.
yeah, then I don't know if it'll go down too well with me, being a
Hmm.
fan. But yeah, anyway, they can do whatever they want. They're the ones making the money and spending the money. So, um, and my final one is something that I made you look at, and it's Dragon Quest 11. I've never played a Dragon Quest game for more than half an hour, but
Hmm.
this is a game that's looking very interesting just because it is a more of an open world. I know we're getting a lot more open world games these days, kind of everything's going for an open world kind of theme, but this one looks like it's going to do a really good job of doing a JRPG in an open world. I think there's a crafting system. I hope there's going to be the classic kind of Dragon Quest create your character. I don't like they had this character in all of their screenshots that they've given out, which is like this. He looks like Trunks from Dragon Ball Z,
Hmm.
and he just looks kind of meh. Whereas I hope they had some kind of character customization as they have with the past. What was your review on it? I know you gave it a bit of a scathing review.
Uh, this is a solid miss for me. I'm not a fan of JRPGs. They sort of just bore me to tears from
Oh,
one or two I've played in the past. I'm
yeah,
just not interested in that sort of long-winded gameplay. It just bores me a little bit.
right. It's like the whole
Um,
turn taking sort of thing and all that kind of thing.
I don't mind that as such. I have played a fair amount of like XCOM and
Yeah,
XCOM 2 and that sort of thing, so I'm sort of okay with that. I'm just not a fan of reading a whole block of text, and I
yeah.
think I'm slightly colored by the fact of like Dragon Ball Z, where they spent like 5 minutes fighting and
Okay.
it's been like half an hour having a conversation. Like,
Yes.
sort
Yeah.
of
So
hate that shit because it's like,
right.
oh, shut up! You could have killed each other 20 times by now. It's
Exactly.
like just shh, get on with it.
And that's kind
Yeah,
of
I'm
thing
just not a fan of that.
I'm worried about this game that like my voice acting thing kind of comes into this because Dragon Quest has been with Nintendo for a long time and they've kind of haven't really done that kind of they've been using that kind of classic gameplay for a long time, so I'm kind of worried that they're not going to have voice acting in this game, which is kind of scary. But because it looks really good, you got to admit it looks quite nice for the kind of style that it is.
Yeah, it
um,
looks interesting.
yeah, and one thing I want to talk about with that is so it's exclusive to PlayStation 4
Yep,
and Nintendo DS. So it's not coming to
weird
Switch.
combination.
Yeah,
It's a really weird combination.
it is a really weird combination. And so what they're actually doing is that if you buy a PS4 copy, you get a DS copy with it as well. If you buy a certain yeah, so it's like I don't know how Square worked that out with with Nintendo and PlayStation, but I don't know. I mean, it's just it's pretty funny that they can do that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a bit strange.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, you're up next.
Deadpool 2. They've started filming that last week.
Yes. There was a
So that
picture of a New Zealand actor getting
Yep.
a piggyback ride from Deadpool,
Yep.
which is kind of cool. I think so it's the kid that's in Hunt for the Wilder People. If you've watched that, if you haven't watched that, you need to go and watch it because it's fucking good. And he's pretty funny. He's been doing adverts in New Zealand. He's been doing lots of stuff recently with his newfound fame. And he
Good, man.
and I think he's going to do a really good job of bringing some even more comedic kind of relief with this movie. It'd be kind of cool if he was a mutant in a way, kind of had this weird kind of ability to stick to Deadpool somehow without getting hurt. That'd be interesting. Like he'd just pop up all over the place. Like Deadpool would be killing lots of people, and then he'd be like, "Oh my god, what the hell are you doing?" and not getting shot by anyone at the same time, sort of thing. It'd be really funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his role would be. I can't imagine it'd be anything
Too
too
big.
serious. It might just be like a comedy role, like Deadpool's running down the street and it's like, "Ah, you go," and say something from Hunt for the Water People or something. I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
Uh,
What do you think of
yeah.
the director strife that they've been having? Because the guy who directed Deadpool 1,
Yep.
he quit Deadpool 2. He didn't want to do it anymore.
Yep.
And it was
Yep.
believed it was because of him and Ryan Reynolds weren't getting along in terms of creatively. What do you think they are in shape? I don't know who's directing it now.
David Leitch is directing now.
What's he done?
I'm gonna have a look. See. Oh, he's the guy who did John Wick, the first one.
Oh, okay, I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. So he's
he,
action. He knows his action.
he could add some gun fu in there. That'd be kind of cool. I'm always keen for some
Yeah.
gun fu.
Oh God, he's done a lot of stunts. He's a stunt
Yeah,
person.
he's a stunts person.
A lot of stunts. He's directed like John Wick. He's done the Deadpool short that came out a while ago. He directed
Oh.
Atomic Blonde, which is coming out very soon.
Oh, that looks good.
Um,
That's a new
looks very good.
Charlize Theron movie, eh?
Yep.
I haven't actually shown my girlfriend that. I think she'd be kind of keen for that. She doesn't normally like action movies, but this looks pretty cool.
Oh, second unit director. He's directed on a lot of second movies. What else is? What else is the second? Ninja Assassin, King of Fighters, blah blah blah. Mechanic, just
Oh,
second unit director.
okay.
Conan the Barbarian, In Time, Hansel and Gretel, Parker, Anchorman 2,
All these
The
movies have
Wolverine,
big
Escape Plan,
big
Teenage
stunt
Mutant
kinda
Ninja
stuff.
Turtles 1
Yeah.
and 2.
Yeah.
He did the Ant-Man Agent 47 one. No.
Ah, okay.
Jurassic World. He was second unit director in Captain America: Civil War. Yeah, that's
Oh, wow.
fantastic.
Okay.
So he's done a lot of action movies, so he knows what he's
movies,
doing.
yeah. Okay, that's cool. I'm
Knows
a
what
bit
he's
more
doing,
faith.
so-
Bit more faith. Okay. I just while we were talking about the other one, I thought of another topic, which is crossplay. So there's more kind of light shedding that PlayStation might not be taking Battlegrounds because they don't want to do crossplay. That they don't want to do Minecraft crossplay like at all.
Yep.
Yeah, just more kind of stuff coming out that, and I think a lot of media places are painting it as they are selling gamers short by not doing that kind of thing. And for being a PlayStation fanboy, I absolutely agree. I don't think it's right that they get to decide that we can't play these games when other people can play them.
Yeah.
A
Well,
lot of it was-
one of the arguments I read somewhere from someone who works at Rocket League, they essentially said Rocket League has the Switch ready to go. As soon as Sony says yes, you can do it, they can flip essentially a switch and let it propagate.
Yeah.
But the thing Sony's saying is that they want to protect the children. They don't. They think Sony's like this perfect ecosystem where children don't get offended or anything like that.
I find that
But
really
I don't believe
funny.
that's true.
Have you seen any of the PlayStation Vita games that they're releasing? They are nothing short of hentai. Like, it is ridiculous.
Oh, I'm gonna look at this one.
Yeah, they've got this game where you shoot bikini girls with water blasters, and there's action games coming out where you
Oh wow.
yeah, it's
I think I heard it.
it's bad, and it's not it's not stuff that's being curated. Maybe it's just not being curated well enough or anything. But
They've
it's
got Hotline Miami in there. That's probably the most
yes.
kid-friendly game I can think of.
I know some of these Japanese games that
It's
come
really
out are
fun.
ridiculous.
I don't want to
Um,
click on that one. It's disturbing. Yeah, so yeah, it's sort of like a bullshit
it
argument
is a
saying that
bullshit
we're
argument.
protecting children from the wilds of
from
Minecraft when,
from
as far as I can tell,
Minecraft
Minecraft's one of the most,
penises. You
yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Minecraft's probably the most child-friendly game on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
Well, except for the creepers and zombies and stuff like that. But so yeah, I don't understand the argument of not like allowing that into the system. Like why
Yeah.
not
Oh
just like
yeah.
spread people out, allow people to play
I,
games? I understand when it keeps the ecosystem closed and
Exactly. I think
people
they've got
buying.
such a strong lead at the moment. They are afraid of doing much to
Yeah,
actually rock that. It's the same thing with their press conference at E3 was really good, and I think they did probably one of the best jobs of the lot. But it wasn't showing anything amazingly new. You know, like they didn't actually show really any new games at all. We just saw more of old games that we had seen at the previous E3.
Hmm.
And I get the whole keeping it real, keeping it to games that are coming out soon and all that kind of thing, but still, I don't understand why why they're playing it so safe. You know,
yeah,
um, yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
It's just weird. Yeah, I don't understand why they're saying no, you can't with like stuff like Minecraft, which is relatively kid friendly. Same with
yeah,
Rocket League. Yeah, I feel like it's just they're trying to keep people in their ecosystem, buy games on their system and nowhere else, so they can get more money. I mean,
look,
yeah.
look, I don't like talking negatively about PlayStation. Can we please move on?
No.
Ah,
Damn PlayStation. I'm going to sell my PlayStation 4 right
no,
now.
don't sell it, please.
Mm.
We haven't even got to play the games together.
Mm.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah, have you added me
I
yet?
keep forgetting to add you. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Oh, okay. All right.
oh,
What's the next topic?
oh well. Well, I think my final one is the whole rumor of Mass Effect and Bioware canning the single
Mm.
player DLC.
Yeah,
Although I've seen Bioware sort of shut that down and said, no, we're
okay.
still doing it. But there
Right.
was a sort of fake story going around that there was a company called Sinclair Networks that was trying to
Saw that.
make them do it, but it was a false claim apparently.
Yeah. Okay. All
From,
right.
from what one of the producers from Bioware was saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope there's more DLC for it. I like to see what happened to one of the other arcs. I
Right.
just like to see more.
Yeah.
Might be a
I
reason to go
did. I
back and
did
play
see
it.
that story. I wasn't sure if you'd cover it or not. Which luckily you did. Yeah. I can't say it was a huge surprise when I saw it. But I kind of like it's just sad that they would just drop it. You know, it's
Yeah, well, it's on pause. I mean, once you push a game out, you don't need a full 500 staff. You can shuffle people
exactly.
off into other studios and leave the ones to maintain the servers
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and work on whatever DLC they're going to do. I imagine they will do DLC, even though it was critically panned. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's sort of a fair number though.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have gotten enough sales, but
So
yeah. While we're on the topic of DLC, do you want to talk about the GTA stuff that came out?
I don't have a link to that story. Can you, if you have one, would you push it to me?
Which one's that?
But when you were talking about earlier today about how it cost $500 to do all the DLC.
I found it on N4G. I don't know if I'll be able to find it again.
Ah,
Yeah. So the story that I read is that you would need $30 to $40 million in game to buy all of the new stuff that's just come out for the Gunrunners DLC, which is of course as Game of Thrones been doing for the last since they released the game is free DLC. You get it as an update in the game. But the stuff that's in the game is just so expensive that it's gonna either cost you. You can buy these game these shark cards or whatever they're called, money little
found
things for real money for in-game money, which is $8 million at a time, which is the maximum you can buy or the best value, and it's $99 US. So apparently it would take like $500 US to actually buy all the stuff in the game, which it just kind of strikes a really nasty chord in me. Like I understand the whole DLC thing. I understand making money out of a game that people are still playing. I just don't think that they should be doing it at such an extreme extent.
hmm.
It just doesn't. I can't see why they would need to do it like that. Why they just need to make it so expensive when they could make it cheaper and more people would have access to it. So yeah,
Well, there are many ways inside of the game to get cash. Like
Yep.
if you do all the heists, that's equals to about 10 million for doing all 5
yeah, but
of
then you've
them.
got to get four people together to do that kind of thing. I
That's
don't
the joy of random invites. Not that it'll be aggressive.
know. Oh god.
Then there's, at the moment they've got one of the double cash weeks going on
Yep.
right now, where you do a
Nice.
certain game type, you get double RP and double money.
Yeah.
If you just like play constantly, you do all the side, all the jobs and content missions and that sort of shit, you'll get money
Yep.
fairly quickly. I don't know how quickly you get to $2 million though.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had more than like $1 million in my GTA
No.
wallet.
Yeah.
I always tend to buy it on random things I regret instantly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um,
I think the most I've had is that about $1 million, and I got most of that from, I think there was a time when they were like down for a month or so, and you got like $500,000.
So
so like
yeah,
half of
that's
that. Yeah.
yeah, I know that story. So in the beginning, that when they released GTA 5, they were releasing they released GTA Online about a month after the game was launched, and then at the beginning there were such server issues and such
Yeah.
crap with that. They decided to sort of reward all the people who decided to help stay in there for like 6 months or a year or something like
Yeah.
that. So they gave everybody like 500 grand or something like that
Yeah.
to spend on whatever they would like.
Exactly.
And then people who also transferred and bought the game again from Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 to
Yeah.
Xbox One and PlayStation 4, they also gave money back to them as well.
Okay.
I think it was a small amount. I think I got some of that as well.
Yeah.
So, but there is capacity for them to just give money away.
Yeah.
But it's always been a bit of a grind to get money in that game anyway.
It is. It is a big
But,
grind to get the money. in that
Money
game.
isn't everything, I suppose. Experience could be a thing.
I've been watching some gameplay thing of that gun runner stuff, and like the amount of people that have that kind of stuff already is amazing. Like, I
Yeah,
guess
how they got all that money? It's because they fucking use the glitches to get the money.
Yeah, yeah. I
That
hope
whole,
I hope
you know.
they really need to get crack down on that hacking stuff that they.
They have in the past. They keep
Yeah.
hammering away at it, but every time they do a patch to fix it, there's another glitch happens,
Yeah.
and another glitch happens, another
Yeah.
glitch happens. That's just how coding works.
Exactly.
If you fix one thing, a hole will pop up somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's just how computer code works. That's how game code works.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate thing. It happens all the time in pretty much every game. There's always a glitch somewhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can be funny. Sometimes they're harmless.
Annoying.
Sometimes they break the game, like they give people extra money for selling a fucking motorbike or something. It's just part of gaming. It's
Yeah.
a thing we're gonna have to live with till they make a perfect system, which I don't think they ever will, because perfect system doesn't exist.
No.
So yeah.
Oh well. Okay. So. That's about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
How do we wrap these things up? All right.
I
So.
don't know. Say goodbye. Just hang
Goodbye.
up.
Oh, I had actually a good idea. We'll do a segment where we'll just explain what we're kind of doing at the moment. What's kind of filling our time.
Talking to each other.
Haha. No, I meant more like what you're consuming as a gamer or a book reader. I know you like to read a lot of books and things like that. So I thought I'd start off while you think about something. There's this manga that I'm reading at the moment called. It's the new one from the creator of Gantz, which is a very famous manga, and it is called Inu. Oh God, I can't remember that last name. Yashiki. So it's INU space YASHIKI, and it's basically about two people who are very different from one another. Both get struck by an asteroid, get turned into robots, and one of them decides to go around killing people, and the other decides to start saving people. And the one who decides to start saving people is an old man. He becomes a robot. He's still an old man when he's a robot. It's really funny. 'Cause he shakes a lot, and they in manga you've no way of portraying shakes other than drawing little lines around the character, and he's always looking like he's shaking. It's really funny. And the other character's kind of just this young guy who's in school and thinks he's the most amazing kind of guy because he's a robot, and isn't really afraid of showing off his powers. And then it's all about their impact on the world around them that kind of goes off. The old man has a family, the young guy has friends and other kind of people that rely on him and he relies on, all that kind of stuff. It's a very good story. It's coming up to an end. It's still. I've read it all about the last about 2 or 3 days, and it's just I've just caught up to where the writer is, so I'm very, very excited for that to start coming out again, and I can keep eating away at that.
Right.
What about you?
Interesting. What am I reading? I'm reading part of a book series. It's the fourth of the series called. It's by a guy called Peter V. Brett. I think it's called the Desert War Saga or some rubbish like that.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it's set in a world, not our world, where there's these things called demons that rise from their core every sort of night, and they sort of just wreak havoc on the world. And basically, at this part of the book, the people have found ways to fight the demons down, have fight off the demons like wardings and various bits of magic and stuff like that. And they're just sort of building towards a crescendo of like attacking the sort of where the demons live in the core of the planet. It's been a series that's, I've liked it, although I kind of think there's one too many characters to follow. I think at the last count there was like 8 or 9 different viewpoints, and it was just a bit freaking confusing at times. Although each character, spoiler alert, one of the characters does die in this book. I've read this book before. One of the main characters does die. So yeah, there's he's a guy, Peter V. Brett. He's a fairly decent author. I think this is his like first big book series he's ever written. So he's pretty much a novelist author. But it's still a really good read. The characters are all rather, like, they're all not perfect characters. All have their own flaws, their own misconceptions, their own views on everything, and they're all very sort of different perspectives on everybody. And they all have their own sort of, racial hatreds and racial tensions towards other groups and that sort of thing. It's a fairly well thought of book. And if you like, demons and monsters and fighting and that sort of thing, it's right up there.
Okay. At the moment, I'm playing. What am I playing at the moment? I'm playing a bit of PUBG.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, aren't we all? I'm playing a lot of Destiny Crucible at the moment. I never really got into it when the game first came out. I kind of always fell underneath the waves of the meta game. I managed to luck out, and I already had one of the guns. I didn't even realize this, but apparently one of the best guns in the game is this dragon. The Clever Dragon. It's like a pulse rifle. I was googling what guns I should be using in the Crucible, and I had that gun, and I was like, yeah, fucking woohoo! And I got on there, and I'm doing actually pretty alright. I don't win very often, but when I do pretty alright. My character looks really cool. I haven't shown Liam a picture of it yet, but I'll be putting a picture up on my Instagram. Oh, by the way, I have an Instagram now. It's thinning.media. I think. I haven't looked at it. I mean, I look at it, but I haven't had a proper look at it. And yeah, it's pretty cool. You can see my character. I'm putting up a new character because your Destiny character changes just so often that I'll probably put one up occasionally. I'm really looking forward to the new one coming out.
Yeah, it's thinning.media.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, so yeah, you can check it out there if you'd like. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm playing at the moment. Very boring. I haven't got any new games. I just actually on the Steam summer sale for $10, I bought Stardew Valley. You've played that.
Good on you.
Yep.
That game needs a co-op mode. Seriously.
I'm playing on the hardest mode where the monsters come out at night. I haven't had to come across that because I always go to sleep at night. I don't really understand what I'm doing, but I'm kind of getting there as I go. I've got this quest to go and get some mining, but the mine's blocked off, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck do I do? But yeah, I'm just kind of plodding along. I kind of do that while I edit videos and stuff like that. So
Stardew Valley, they sort of just leave you to it and let you sort of explore and work things out. It's essentially a farming simulator sort of game.
It is good.
I've got it on the Xbox, and I've played quite a bit of it actually.
Yeah, I started out playing on the keyboard, but then I realized you could use the Xbox controller, and it's actually quite intuitive. It feels a lot like Minecraft a little bit, but it's pretty cool.
Definitely needs a co-op mode or something along those lines.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd like that actually.
Be interesting.
I'd probably be just walking around, and the other person would be digging though, and I'd be like a slave master. It'd be kind of
do work! I'm going over here. Fish.
What are you doing?
Get
talking?
back to work.
Get back to work. Yeah.
Why are you talking to that random sprite in game? Why do you have a blue pulse rifle in Destiny? Fusion cannon. Fusion
Uh,
gun.
oh,
Why? Why not purple?
because
Come on.
I haven't got anything good yet. I'm looking for a new sniper
Just go
rifle.
use your legendary max. Go buy one.
No, because I'm using my
Yes,
I'm
do it.
using a Oh, I guess I could use the legendary marks. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess I could.
might as well. Go
Yeah,
use it.
might as well. Yeah,
Nothing's
might as well.
stopping you.
I haven't bought anything with my legendary marks in a long time. Okay,
I should have
what are you
200 of them.
playing? You said something interesting today that you're playing.
What? The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, working that through. I think it's my second or third playthrough. On the first time on the
Really?
PlayStation 4, but I played on the Xbox,
Ah.
PlayStation 3 back when I
Okay.
had a PlayStation 3.
Right.
I think this is my third playthrough. I can't. It was so long ago. I don't actually remember too much about the game.
Oh, okay.
So it's sort of like a new experience. I'm like,
Right,
as I
'cause-
get to the thing, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I've done this before, and I
Yeah.
died several times.
Because the way you were talking to me
So-
about it today, I was like, oh, he's like never played this before. I won't spoil anything for him because I was tiptoeing around.
Have you
around
not
everything.
seen me with the Last of Us T-shirt?
No.
I have that. I
Oh,
wear it all the time.
I can't remember.
Do you want me to
I'm
wear it tomorrow
terrible.
and you can see
I
it?
barely remember what you even look like, mate. I mean, I
No,
saw you
thanks.
today, and I just have a bad memory. I have a really bad memory. As you can tell, because
Obviously.
we're recording this on Saturday, and we were supposed to record them on Fridays, which is because I forgot.
Well, you had a good excuse. You were playing
Crash
Bandicoot. So
Yeah, yeah.
I can't fault you for that. It's Crash Bandicoot.
Me and my girlfriend are playing
You know.
Crash Bandicoot. It's really good. It's really good. Lots of nostalgia waves coming back. We have just been playing I bought the PlayStation 3 versions about a year ago, not knowing that, well, not knowing actually been I've had them for a while, but I bought them before the whole thing was going to come out. So we've played through them recently, and now we're playing through them again in glorious HD, and it's really good. It controls better. There's still the annoying kind of weird jumping thing that happens occasionally, but I mean it's Crash Bandicoot. You take these things as beautiful little bugs.
Yep.
I guess that's about it, really. We'll close out. We'll be back next fortnight. Hopefully you look forward to it. Are we going to be doing this more often than every fortnight? Not for the foreseeable future, I don't think. I can barely remember to do it that, let alone more. Yeah, we might do in the very far future, especially if this takes off, maybe. But until then, we'll be doing it as
When we
are.
get our own studio and our own office space, and then we can go from there when we have Joe Rogan like money.
Yeah, get the Joe Rogan money. Yeah.
Which, I mean, we have to join Fear Factor New Zealand, and we have
It's-
to go
yeah.
get shit tons of money from us and that sort of thing, which probably won't happen because Fear Factor's
No.
got shit canned quite quickly.
Very quickly. So yeah, we'll finish this off. I'll say peace out, everybody.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much for listening. And yeah, bye.
Goodbye.